This Super Bowl 60 picks edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Kalshi. Make real money predicting sports. Kalshi is available in all 50 states, and you get $20 free with promo code SGPN. That's Kalshi, promo code SGPN.
Hey, this is Derek Stevens. I'm the owner of Circa Las Vegas. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog. Do we get a song?
Super Bowl, yeah, Super Bowl, yeah. It's the Super Bowl, Super Bowl, yeah. Super Bowl, yeah. Super Bowl week on the Sports Gambling Podcast. Man, I've just been sitting around all day waiting to celebrate the Super Bowl. It's here. Well, the week is here. The day is full 7 days away.
It does feel. I will say I agreed with your general takes on the fact that and CJ had this too. The week before the week almost feels like too much. You know, like we can't pop the cork as soon as the conference championship games end. We need a quick break. We need to, say goodbye to our loved ones, and then.
Well, it is a good, and now again, it's kind of changed over the years, even the years from when we first started doing the podcast, right? All the way back in 2011, we've been picking the Super Bowl, and you had to wait a while for the Super Bowl props to come out.
The Superbook would release their PDF. That was like a big thing. It was a Thursday release.
They even do. The old school heads still show up at the Superbook to get the props released. And now the Super Bowl props are up like early on in the bye week. We're going to be giving out 60 bets for Super Bowl 60, starting with our pick for the game. Then tomorrow we move on to the exotics, the novelty props.
Well, actually we have a couple picks we'll be giving out on this episode technically.
Okay. Yeah. Side
total and an exact score prediction.
Okay.
Unless we want to save the exact score. I don't know how you're feeling.
Sure, I can get mine out.
I mean, I'm prepared as well. That wasn't a challenge. It was more just programming. No.
Yes. So
typically, because we're obviously going to bet the exact score we give out. Because my God, if we don't,
that would be one of my biggest nightmares. Would be to give out some crazy long shot bet to go down in Super Bowl glory, Super Bowl gambling history of nailing the Super Bowl exact score. Not having that as a ticket would be just devastating.
So here's the schedule. We're gonna, like Sean said, we're gonna start off. We're gonna bury the lead, get the easy stuff out of the way, and then tomorrow, Monday, we'll have the man in the box in studio for some exotics and novelties. I know he's already been cooking up some some hot takes on the Super Bowl off-field propositions. Then Sean, you and I will discuss Patriot props on Tuesday. We'll be back in early for Wednesday afternoon episode with CJ again due to his travel restrictions or travel schedule. We'll be doing our first touchdowns, ladders, and leaders Wednesday, 3 p.m. ish, and then that night doubleheader. We'll get back to the team based stuff with the Seahawks props. So we'll be live 1 p.m. on Super Bowl Sunday for a pregame. How long will we go, Sean? The people want to know.
What do you mean?
How long will the pregame
show?
As long as the callers are calling.
If the call line is open, we'll keep answering calls. So
loaded week of shows.
Yeah, I'm excited. And
what happens if we accidentally give out over 60 props? Will there be a penalty?
Yeah, sure. We'll figure out some sort of penalty. I do like Adam Osimo in the chat asked, can we open up one prop before, like it's the night before Christmas? Yes, we will give out side total, exact score, which by definition is technically a prop. and one prop to get the whistle wet. Right? Come on, it's Super Bowl week. We got to treat the fans.
I mean, I'm prepared to have this conversation.
I already got a bunch in the kitty.
If you listen to the VSiN show, you got a preview of some of the.
Yeah,
props,
we already gave out a couple early ones, some classics that we play most years.
I doubt any of them will be shocking to people.
No, there's some old reliables that we always hit on that are worth repeating that we will hit in the prop section. But on top of it, Ryan, breaking news.
Wait, what?
I got rid of the breaking news sound effect, so it's Japan's gong.
I didn't even. You're talking about something else. I have also breaking news.
I have breaking news that because you guys are awesome listeners, viewers.
Play the gong one more time. I stepped all over that.
All right, hold on one more time. We have a big announcement. We're going to be hooking you guys up. We're going to do a Super Bowl Squares, $1,000 given away to the audience. Totally free to enter. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/squares, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/squares. $1,000, winner take all, final score only, end of the game. So again, it's only the first 100 people that get in. So again, a good reason to be watching the show live, youtube.com/sportsgamblingpodcast. Get in, smash that subscribe button. Maybe we'll do a bonus one for the slackers, but probably not. So get in on the first 100 there. $1,000 Super Bowl Square, give it away. Cause we're appreciate you guys and good time. Everyone likes a free roll on Super Bowl.
Yeah. I would say get them in. Get him. Sean has been gracious in the past, but get him in.
Get him in.
So we had there do have some non Super Bowl stuff to discuss.
Okay.
Well, for one, I'd like to thank all the people who obviously wanted me to crash in a helicopter.
No, it was a reverse jinx
over the weekend. Who just kept telling me that it was not a good thing to be getting on a helicopter. Very excellent to ride a helicopter, Sean. In fact, I would recommend that you ride a helicopter.
Yeah, I've been on a helicopter ride once.
To Catalina, not any helicopter ride. Specifically, this. No, transport.
It looked. I saw your video. I'm sure you want to play it. Share it with the audience.
Because I also think that some people didn't think it was real. That I'm
that you took a helicopter to a youth sports soccer game.
Well, it wasn't just that. And this was a deep secret that I didn't want to share because I thought it'd be a fun reveal for Super Bowl week. Not only did I go over to Catalina for a youth soccer game, but there was I got a chance to meet a new mentor and idol of mine.
Really?
Yeah. Because there was also a little football clinic going on over there with some football guys, and I got a chance to meet Coach Harbaugh, new mentor and idol. And I walked away with a John Harbaugh signed pylon.
Wait, what?
That's now going to live in the studio here next to me.
Okay, so you didn't you ordered this online.
Look at this. Here's the football. Yeah. Shout out to All Climate Dean, who always keeps me abreast of things being sold that I might be interested in.
So Ravens, former Ravens head coach John Harbaugh, congrats, right?
And current mentor and idol of me and the New York Football Giants. Look at this beautiful view.
How much did you have to pay for the autographed pylon?
Well, of course you have to guess.
Okay, I would say $90.
Let me pull up the receipt. I don't want to lie. Let's see. All right. $27.80.
That's actually a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess no one's buying into the Harbaugh.
Now, also, how did we not have a pylon in our studio?
No, we do now.
So now we have a pylon in the studio.
I mean, minus the fact that it's autographed. Well, Super Bowl winning head coach for the Ravens. What do you mean?
We have a Super Bowl winning head coach pylon autograph here.
Nice view.
Get a SGP logo on here
of Catalina, and someone already took a screen grab of the football field.
Let me go back.
That is on top of a baseball field. So again,
there's actually two. So real quick, I'll pop. So the first one that you see at the top of the golf course here. It would be a tight football field vibe, but there was a really cool, Sean, in the top. You can see it here, kind of off to the left there. There was an area where all the locals kind of backed their golf carts up and were like watching the game. Not a lot that goes on Catalina. Obviously, they're hanging out, drinking beers, watching a youth sports game. But then you see this. This is the high school field over here, And someone said the future home of the SGPN Bowl.
Yeah,
I love it.
That's what I'm saying. Look at it. It's got
I love it.
Colby's going to be rock hard because it's got a baseball field on top of the football field.
And it's look at the location. I mean, are you kidding me? We'd have the best bowl location out there.
Again, Catalina Island's awesome. If you've never been,
look at this place.
Yeah, and I've done a bunch of backpacking with Kramer as well. I know it's backpacked it a ton. It's a fun town to just hang out and do a day trip on. Yeah. So Catalina Island, there you go.
Anyway, yeah, it was actually my first time hanging out in Avalon, the big city there. I've only ever been in the more remote parts of the island. So
a lot of fun there, Catalina Island. All right, Ryan, we got a Super Bowl to break down. I thought it'd be fun if we start off taking some big picture thoughts, big picture angles, some trends, unload those, then talk about the Pats when they got the ball, Seattle when they got the ball. Fun way to break it down. I'll let you start, but to me, it starts with the fact of Mike Vrabel as a dog. That's certainly an interesting aspect. Mike Vrabel, he's been great as a dog to us historically. Well, actually, Ryan, you need to give us the officially get us going here with the line and the total, and the total is wrong on the slide.
Well, the slide master was rushed. That's on me. Total's 45, and I probably could have fixed it, but did not. Total's 45, minus 4.5. We kind of had this discussion before that we thought, is the spread going to get bigger? Is the spread going to get smaller? It kind of stuck. That was my prediction. I'll take it's early, but I'll take an early dub on that.
All right.
Do you think it moves from here? We can have
yeah, maybe.
And so Seahawks laying 4.5. Is there any like really high level takes other than neither team practicing near the electromagnetic fields of San Francisco's practice facility? Is there anything else that's like before we want to get into the A or B?
No, just historically, dogs have been great in the Super Bowl. 16 Super Bowls with the spread of 4.5 or more. Underdogs been good in those spots. 12-2-2 ATS. We got on the Pat side, Vrabel as a dog. He's been very good as a dog. 28-14 ATS. He's been very good in these situations.
Really, it's just I feel like the most common. First of all, I say this every year, but I hate Super Bowl trends because they are in some ways they're like playoff trends. You got me. Super Bowl trends feel just more random, single game variants. But the most popular ones you're going to hear are the recency ones. So to me, I would say keep your ear up for the dog stuff. A lot of that's happening. A lot of look at how some of the other collective bad DVOA teams have done. Just a lot of, I think, inertia towards dog in this game.
But yet the total, it does seem like in general, most people that I've heard giving out plays have been on Seattle, right? And the public is also on Seattle.
So I think yes and no. I think circa is now 32% of the bets, 47% of the handle on Patriots. So I think I've definitely heard people that would consider themselves sharp, like rallying towards New England purely from the market perspective.
I feel like
I see the public, to your point, DraftKings and some of the other data sources more in that 65 to 70% on the Seahawks.
But again, if we're talking teams that have closed with 60% of the tickets, aka the public, they've been on a 5-2 straight up and ATS run. Again, I'm not making.
What's your take on that though? The public doesn't exist for the Super Bowl because the public is the betting pool for the Super Bowl.
Well, yeah, 60% of the tickets would be the public.
No, but I'm just saying you make this point all the time when there's only one game. Everyone's
again, to me the more interesting like public pros versus Joes is in a 16 game slate. If the public's gravitating to one or two sides, that to me is more dangerous than the Super Bowl itself, where it's just to your point, it's a 1 game sample. I wouldn't be that locked up into the historic trends. I think they're worth hitting on. I think it's interesting. And again, you look, this one's kind of interesting. This, the Pats were 80-1 or higher to make the Super Bowl, and teams 80-1 or higher to make the Super Bowl last 50 years. Pats this year. The Bengals, Ryan, I did not realize the year they went to the Super Bowl, 150-1. That was not on my radar. I thought they were.
There's times when I read stuff and I'm like, do I believe, like, how much because I feel like there's, we're in this pretty deep, and I feel like it's been rare to see.
Well, I think it was because Joe Burrow was coming off that injury, and there was a lot of talk like he wouldn't even be ready to go for the beginning of the 2021 season. So I think that's probably why that was such a long shot. 2016 Falcons were 80-1. That kind of makes sense. That season came out of nowhere a little bit. Obviously the 99 Rams, the 99 Rams, only team of those that won outright, 150-1 some places. Again, crazy long shot. Bengals did cover there. Obviously the Falcons did not. They lost in overtime. They were up 28-3, as we all know, but
it was a tough second half. I think, and maybe, I guess I agree that it does seem like more people like Seattle.
100%.
Yeah. I guess that I'm hearing people making the case for,
so like we worked with VSiN, and VSiN put out a guide. A lot of guys who consider themselves sharp. There are some guys taking the Patriots there, but even amongst the people sending their picks for the Super Bowl, the majority are on the Seahawks there,
winning the game, but a lot of them are acutely having them not cover the game.
Well, and that comes up to a trend. Super Bowl. Now, I don't know what you take here, Ryan.
I mean, I'm looking, just eyeballing that data you were talking about.
What data?
The VSiN data, and just eyeballing it. The majority have the Seahawks not covering.
Super Bowl winners are 57-2 ATS. 88% of the time, the team that wins the Super Bowl covers. Are you taking anything into that?
Yeah, no, but no. I mean, I think certainly we have plenty of data sets, like especially when you look back into the days when the NFC was mollywhopping the AFC. You have a lot of every year basically. I think you also obviously that when the dog wins they cover, so the spread is dead in the Super Bowl. I'll concede that point. The spread is dead in the Super Bowl.
All right,
and a lot of people are threading that needle. So maybe that's the thesis here.
All right, let's actually get into the game. Of course, we're brought to you by Kalshi, real money prediction market, legal in all 50 states. And boy, do they have you covered for the big game side, total props. A lot of opportunities to get down on Kalshi, even the weird stuff, the wacky stuff. It's all on Kalshi. Obviously, they got it covered for all types of sports and available in all 50 states. New traders get $20 in their account. Use code SGPN so you get that free $20. T's and C's do apply. Kalshi, promo code SGPN. And we're also brought to you by Avo. That's right. Head over to avo.bet. Get started today over on AVO, aka Avo, the number one arbitrage betting tool. This is really good. I think that this is really good for college basketball, where you see a bunch of line movement, bunch of books hanging different numbers, where you can really lock in some good opportunities to play both sides and guarantee yourself a profit. Highly recommend Avo. It's easy to use. Log in, sync your books, clean dashboard, and you get alerts to arbitrage opportunities. Great way to stack up the bankroll. Check out their Discord. You can hear other Avo users who like it, enjoy it, and are making some serious cash. Head over to Avio Official on the Discord there. Get started today at avo.bet. Use promo code SGPN for $18 off. That's avo.bet. Promo code SGPN for $18 off. All right, Kramer, Pats have the ball. What are we thinking?
They're fucked.
Okay.
I think you have. How do we feel about Drake May's ability to throw the ball? At a minimum, he's going to be hindered a little bit, right? The injury he has,
shoulder injury, certainly doesn't help. Again, it's not moving the number, so it's probably not that big of a deal, but it certainly doesn't help.
It's intriguing to me, and maybe you would have been right had we not found out that he is in a position where he's almost certainly going to have to be shot up and be playing with some sort of, enhancement to the dealing with the pain. And I think also just if that type of injury is going to impact his ability to put as much zip on the ball. We kind of talked about this. The best thing he's been doing in the postseason has not been great, only 55% completion rate. But he has been throwing that whole shot deep ball, reminiscent of Eli to Mario Manningham down the sideline in the Super Bowl. But that's been Drake May's throw, and I wonder if it's not going to be impactful to that throw. And so I think, I've heard a lot of people talk about him having to run. I think with Seattle's defensive line advantage against the offensive line of the Patriots, Drake May is going to have to be very good with his arm, which I don't expect him to be because a combination of the injury and he's been playing like ass in the postseason. And I think he's going to have to run. And yeah, I legitimately think that he's going to take some hits in this game. Yeah. And if he's already banged up in the shoulder, like what is that going to turn into?
Well, and he's incredibly young. Second youngest quarterback to start in the Super Bowl. He's just the 10th quarterback to start a Super Bowl before the age of 25. Previous 9 QBs, 3-6 straight up, 3-5, 3-5-1 ATS. And to me, one of my biggest keys of the game is Will Campbell at left tackle. Like Will Campbell at left tackle, I think it's still a huge liability for this Patriots team. And I think it kind of got covered up in that Broncos game because the edge rushers, it was tough to get a pass rush like that second half, but they were not moving the ball at all against the Broncos defense. And everyone keeps saying, "Oh, hey, yeah, maybe the Pats only scored 54 points in those first 3 games in the playoffs, but they played a top 10 defense every time." Well, guess what they're doing Super Bowl Sunday? They're also playing a top 10 defense. I mean, by any sort of metric,
the top defense.
Yeah, I mean, again, if you're looking at DVOA, I'm sure they're up there. Any sort of metric you want to look at, the Seattle Seahawks defense is very good, but there is a type of offense that can kind of give them some difficulty. But I don't think the Pats have that offense. The where they struggle is if you have a dominant possession receiver, a la Puka Nacua, who is just kind of unguardable, and you got Matt Stafford. Yeah, you can kind of move the ball against the Seahawks team, but I mean, look at that 49ers team. The 49ers offense to me is way closer to the Pats offense than the Pats offense is to that Rams offense that we saw. Like the Rams don't have Devontae Adams. The Pats don't have Devontae Adams. The Pats don't have a Puka Nacua. Like I think Hunter Henry, and that's one of the props I like is some of his stuff. Maybe Austin Hooper gets going. Well, you can attack them a little bit under the middle, but the outside receivers are gonna struggle against the Seahawks secondary. And then Will Campbell, DeMarcus Lawrence has been eating in this season and in the playoffs in general. I mean, he's just been on an incredible run. DeMarcus Lawrence, he has 3 forced fumbles in the playoffs alone, and he's going up against the guy in Will Campbell whose weakness is edge rushers and giving up strip sacks and forced fumbles. Like I think 6 of those fumbles for Drake May, like 3 were Will Campbell's fault.
Yeah, and I think bringing it back, you mentioned the Rams and how they're able to the Rams are able to move the ball against anybody. Also that involved Matt Stafford kind of not doing what the offense would tell you to do, which that's another thing going back to the young quarterback angle. I mean, Mike McDonald has been unscathed against young quarterbacks. Yeah. And so part of that is Stafford, what you saw Stafford do well. And if you watch any film breakdowns, like he was basically throwing into the no part of the field and it was just Puka. Or it was just Devontae Adams. And so I mean, look, you can
Puka was not wide open. He was doing his Puka thing.
There was a couple where it was like, oh, that's an interception, and it just great throw, great catch. What are you gonna do?
And that's a good point. Like we see this all the time. And how many times, Ryan, have we had a good time betting on young quarterbacks versus elite defensive minds? Like that's That's bread and butter. That's and Drake May struggled. Drake May has not looked good at all in the playoffs.
I don't believe Mike.
I mean, he had a couple throws against the Texans, but the offense also struggled considering they got 5 turnovers.
I think Mike McDonald is like undefeated at 6-0 against a first, second year quarterback, something like that. I think regardless, and I would even say, you know, one of the things that we'll talk about later in the week when we talk, I haven't decided where I'm going to put it, but the idea that, you know, you talk about Will Campbell giving up quick pressures.
Yeah.
But I also think that you have
DeMarcus Lawrence is going to eat.
Leonard Williams has been a menace up the middle.
I mean, the D line's been very good.
So again, pushing Drake May to use his legs, which was a good thing. Like he's probably going to get some rushing yards. I've heard a lot of people give that out, really like that. But again, like when's the turnover coming? The one thing that I don't think people are talking about is the true fumble regression that's set to hit for this team. If they have the same type of, if he's
even if they get unlucky on these, to your point,
if he's taking this many hits, like this is like the pressures regress, the fumbles regress. If your quarterback's taking all these hits, whether they're up the middle with big defensive tackles, they're scrambling with like headhunting safeties. I guess all of what I'm saying is I think the Patriots offense has a very low floor. And when I'm trying to identify like what is the ceiling of this offense, the ceiling is they hit on some big throws. They hit on some big plays.
Yeah.
And it's going to feel very lucky. I feel like I don't feel like they're going to matriculate the ball down the field running the ball.
Well, and that's a good point. Seahawks defense, they've allowed 4 drives of 85 yards plus all season. 3 of those, probably
the Rams.
Were the Rams. So the Rams were built to beat this Seahawks team in some ways. And again, they have a veteran quarterback. They have
their division rival also.
Well, yeah, they know how to play him. They have, they have Puka Nacua.
So back to your point on the defense, you know, just to put a bow on it, Seattle, I mean, they were the top dog in DVOA against the pass, against the rush, and overall. And so, Houston really good. They were second. You know, like they were right there. Kudos to you.
Yeah.
If certainly the people citing the top 5 defenses weren't using DVOA, but regardless, I mean, low floor for the Patriots offense. I think the ceiling is going to feel a little bit lucky. And so how do you bet on that? How do you bet on that? I'm certain, like I feel so certain there's going to be a turnover in this game from Drake May.
And on the I had a nugget on the young quarterback thing. Over the last 2 seasons with the Seahawks, 10 quarterbacks under age 25 have faced this Mike McDonald defense. What do you think they are out of 10 games? What are they straight up?
That's a bigger sample than the stat I saw. It's 0-10,
1-9, 7 passing touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 30 total sacks.
Do you happen to know who the one was?
No, not off the top of my head. I would have to think on it.
Okay,
but no, I didn't copy who was the guy that took him down. But I think if you're making a case for the Pats offensively, I think it starts with Hunter Henry, Austin Hooper, like some of those tight ends. If they can get a little bit going in the run game, to your point, maybe they have some deep shots. Again, Josh McDaniels has done a very good job scheming stuff for this Pats offense in general. And maybe we see some flashes of Drake May MVP where he's rolling out a little bit, picking up first downs with his legs, hitting some deep play action shots.
I think it just, just comes back to, but on all of this stuff, the offense, like what has the offense had, the team has won in spite of the offense, like period, in the playoffs at least. And so I think you're asking me to find a narrative where I think that this offense is going to overcome all the demons they faced in the previous 3 games against the defense that I have more faith in. That is, the more that I think about this, I think, I think this could have a feeling of actual fans being in the building for both teams. Probably.
Oh, really?
But I do think
You think? Well, I guess
I think
Pats.
both.
It's like we saw some Pats apathy towards the end because they had been to so many fucking Super Bowls.
I think on both sides, you have Seattle, great fan base, really stoked
really
to be back.
close, easy to get to.
They love. I mean, what was the nugget? Did I think I shared it with you? The local barbers going down to the area, but I think very much the Pats. It does feel like this is like some sort of bullshit, like 5-year high school reunion for these assholes. You know, like they're like, oh,
baby fucking wheel,
it does now. It's in a place that's probably gonna make the Super Bowl like super expensive. So we'll see what it actually turns out to be, but. Yeah,
and McDaniels has been there before. I do think there is, and Vrabel to that point. Now maybe this is just an overall point or a Pat's offense point, but I think being able to coach up a quarterback, like having that experience from a coaching point of view, I think is big because obviously Mike McDonald never been to a Super Bowl. Sam Darnold, he did do the Super Bowl week as a backup, but I think that is something that is, positive for the Pats offense.
Yeah, no, knowing how to, well, I think also both teams have been recent enough to where there will be like knowledge of how to manage that week in the building, I think regardless, but to your point, yeah, you want to have the experience. Certainly that helps.
Yeah.
Especially when you're trying to sell me the story of a scrappy underdog story, or like an underdog story.
Yeah.
Where
And that's kind of just the bigger point of like, hey, we've seen underdog. No one believes in us. The Pats probably fit that motto where not a lot of people are talking themselves into the Pats. No one thought we had a chance to be here, but on the other side, it's not, it's not the undefeated Patriots on the other side. It's not the Chiefs or some other big bag boogeyman. It's the Seahawks.
But it is. That's the thing. That's the part of this game that's interesting to me. That this is one of the greatest teams of all time, according to DVOA. This is a team that stands up with some of those greats. And I think on the other side, we're seeing people reference some of these underdog stories that have happened before. But go back and watch those underdog stories. Those teams were winning games like in a pot, like they weren't coming out of games, people questioning their schedule, pointing out how every head coach they've played for the season have been fired. And to me, that's the difference in a lot of those narratives is most of those teams didn't come out of the conference championship game with mega questions because you almost lost to a backup quarterback. They came out of the conference championship game with a great win over another good team. And so they were still underdogs in the Super Bowl, but it wasn't like their play was at a level that just doesn't even match their regular season. You've seen the numbers, Sean. Maybe a good way to put a bow on the Patriots offense, but their playoff offense is operating at Tennessee Titans and New York Jets offensive levels.
It's not like they had one bad game. They've had 3 games, and again,
here's what I would ask:
the biggest point is, it's hard for me to feel okay about an offense with a liability at left tackle. Will Campbell, from coming back in the injury, he's a liability, right?
And maybe so. Going back to that youngest quarterback in the Super Bowl,
and it's a young quarterback.
Do you know who what's the answer to that trivia question? Youngest quarterback.
Oh, ever in a Super Bowl?
Youngest quarterback youngest quarterback to start in a Super Bowl.
Dan Marino is up there.
Dan Marino's the answer.
Yeah. Okay.
The answer to youngest quarterback on a roster that maybe played a snap was actually Mike Tomczak in the 80 with the Bears there. But yeah, Dan Marino lost the Super Bowl. So Drake May can also, I mentioned this on a previous show, but he can also make North Carolina the 6th school to have a U.S. president and a Super Bowl winning quarterback. So if you're keeping track of that stuff.
All right, kicking it over to the other side of the ball. When the Seahawks have the ball, what are your key thoughts here, Ryan?
Sam Darnold, first USC quarterback to be in a Super Bowl. People are going to notice how good looking he is this week.
Really?
I think
he's
so.
a ginger.
I think so.
You're pro ginger?
How great is that clip of Marshawn Lynch saying that gingers are black dudes? Marshawn, I can't wait. I hope we get a lot of Marshawn Lynch. Like, come on, NBC, what are you doing? You got Marshawn doing man on the street stuff? If not, you're doing it wrong. I think you start by paying compliments to how well the Patriots have schemed up on defense this entire postseason. To me, that's the story of the Patriots.
Yeah.
They've come into 3 games and they've brought like artillery, and they were going against knives and swords.
And good point. And going back in that 4th and 1 play, Sean Payton thought they were going to play a certain defense. They, they went at, they called the timeout, and it's like, oh, okay. They thought they were going to get a certain look coming out of the timeout. They didn't. They obviously blew up the Broncos play there. And I think I agree with people who are back in the Patriots are one of their big points is, hey, this Pats defense is legit. This Pats defense is for real.
Yep.
And I agree. They've only allowed 26 points in those 3 playoff games. They've done a very good job overall. But I just think they haven't faced an offense quite like the Seahawks. And I think there's a couple of things that are gonna, put the pressure on this Pats team. One, they're one of the worst red zone defenses in the league, Ryan, that was not on my radar. But again, in a close game, them not being able to get stops in the red zone, I think could matter. Now, is there a world where Sam Darnold turns the ball over? Certainly.
Yes.
But have we seen the Pats offense be able to, convert off those turnovers? We haven't, and that's huge for me.
Well, I think the biggest thing to think about too with the Patriots and how their defense has been playing, 3 of the 5 best games they've played, and really, you look at their regular season DVOA numbers, 23rd, Sean. This is not nothing that's going to overwhelm you. I mean, 25th, but they game planned very well. And they showed up huge in 3 playoff games, and some of that is Milton Williams and the defense. He's been great, far more. And you want to talk about a weakness for the Seahawks is some of their interior line not great. I think they're gonna have to blitz a bunch. Which, again, if they get home, Sam Darnold might take some sacks. But I would say, in a weird way, Sam Darnold's been good about moments where he's like, hey, I got to eat the ball. I'm not gonna create a turnover here. When's the last time we've seen, I mean, even in the bad turnover games this year, how many of them looked helpless versus like a gunslinger?
Yeah.
And I think, people are painting the picture like Sam Darnold is going to have his helpless, fumble going backwards or whatever. And to me, if he has some interceptions, it's going to be him taking shots to JSN and Christian Gonzalez making a great play.
Yeah.
I think in general, I mean, I don't think Sam Darnold has we're back to that whole like, okay, Sean, who has Sam Darnold looked bad against in the past 2 seasons?
The
Rams. And the Lions.
Yeah, there were 2 teams that
they're
really
not playing the Rams or the Lions.
No,
and let's also point out that the Rams, the 2 teams he struggled against, were 2 of the best teams in the NFL those years, specifically offensively. And so, yeah, I think will they have a plan to make him look like completely melt? I feel it's possible, but not likely. And I think blitzing him, I don't know if that's going to be like a positive thing. I think we're going to see Clint Kubiak.
Well, and hopping in, Ryan, I know we're both on the similar idea of Kenneth Walker, Helani getting involved in the passing game
big time.
And so I think if the Pats do continue to blitz at their high rate, Seattle's done a good job of being able to get the ball to the receiving running backs of their team and Helani in general. So I think that opens up some of those props. We'll talk about those as we go on here in Super Bowl week. But yeah, if they do bring the heat, I think they can do a decent enough job mitigating it. Again, if the Pats figure out, if the Pats generate the turnovers and then also convert on it, that's probably their formula to win the game. But I think Darnold can throw a pick and they can still win and cover this game. I think Darnold can play a mediocre to like above average game and they can still cover this game. I think to me, the bigger matchup is going to be Seahawks defense versus the Pats offense. I agree with people who are on the Pats saying the Pats defense is underrated to a degree, but I still think Seattle, and again, that puts me more on the under than the side.
Could you argue that they were able to scheme up great defensive game plans against one-dimensional offenses? They played 3 one-dimensional offenses, Sean. I mean, the Chargers in theory should be the best of them, but they were all one-dimensional. Now, granted, their defense helps make them one-dimensional, but which one of those running games? Yeah, Houston finished the game pretty strong. Which one of those running games going into the game did you think was going to have success? Now, I do think I see a lot of people fading Kenneth Walker in this game, and the more that I think about it, not that I'm looking to run and bet him MVP, but he absolutely.
Well, again, he could get there. I think on some. I like his under rush yards, but I think they figure out a way to get him the ball.
Dude, he's by far the most athletic running back this team has faced, and they are a great tackling team, and
their linebackers aren't super athletic.
That's the point. And if Kenneth Walker can do one thing great, it's get to the edge for a big play. And so I'll be curious to see, because I think it's not like Kubiak. Remember, Kubiak just got completely gassed up by Tom Brady.
And again, if I'm making a case for the Pats, I'm pointing out Kubiak's on the board on using the bye week to accept the job at the Raiders. If I'm making a case for the Pats, now I'm using that as a bullet in my take.
Sure, but then we've seen this before, and it doesn't necessarily have an impact.
True. Again, if I was making a case for the Pats,
you have the extra time.
I would be using that angle, and to me, I would say one of the biggest things was on that last drive that Seattle had, their 4-minute offense. They trusted Sam Darnold to throw the ball. They could have very well easily just ran it 3 times and punted. No one would have given him shit. Nothing. He was taking shots out in the field. They were letting Sam Darnold rip it. They trusted Kubiak. The team saw him hit some big throws. Now, ultimately they still had to punt, but they took off a huge chunk of time, and that was the difference in the game.
They play with confidence because the defense is good. And I think they trust Sam Darnold because at this point, if Sam Darnold wasn't Sam Darnold, we wouldn't have this level of is he good? Like, we're asking a guy who just has back-to-back 14 win seasons on different teams that people aren't really calling lucky. And we're like, is he still good enough to do? Like, I mean, he's gonna blow the
Sam Darnold narrative is just there, and I think one, like, winning that game, winning that first playoff game, that was a huge monkey off his back. But winning that Rams game, they needed Sam Darnold. It wasn't they won in spite of Sam Darnold. They won. Sam Darnold didn't hurt them.
Show up and they won. They played well, but that's the team that was putting up points against them.
I mean, who has looked like an MVP in these playoffs? Sam Darnold or Drake May?
I mean, again, Drake May, 50. His calling card was his accuracy, and he just you can lean on the weather, and you can say that they've been playing good defenses, but they're playing a better.
But
defense.
the offense looked like shit before the weather hit.
So, but back to with Seattle's offense, it's another game where if the schemed up stuff doesn't work, they're going to be at a deficit. And I think because, like you mentioned, the blitz will be part of that package. The book on Darnold is you want to speed him up. If you want to, you want to have a chance to speed him up. He hasn't
been great against pressure or the blitz.
And you have Christian Gonzalez going against JSN, but he's generally just been trusting JSN, and JSN's been winning.
Yeah.
And so that's problem one.
And they have other options. They got Barner. They got the pass catching running back.
Problem two is, I do think Cooper Kupp, if Christian Gonzalez is trailing around with JSN, the combination of Cooper Kupp, Barner, and Kenneth Walker is going to be a problem in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
And so you blitz a little, you have a little bit of a disadvantage there. And I think there's going to be some easy throws for Darnold where he doesn't have to be a hero throwing the ball down the field that turn into bigger plays. So that combined with the fact that the only thing I've really heard from the Patriots defense is going to win the game camp is they're going to shut down the run and they're going to turn Darnold over.
Sure. And
okay. And so,
but again, what did they do with those turnovers? They got the turnovers. They didn't do anything with them.
That's point one. But point two is, again, we're not putting respect on this Seattle team.
Yeah. Historically. And Ryan, I don't know if you have the nugget, but they showed teams that are like this good historically DVOA. And we haven't even talked about it, but special teams, Super Bowl 60, there's going to be one special teams play that has a big impact on the game.
Calling for it.
It might be a return. It might be a muff punt. It might be punt coverage. I mean, look at the Pats punter. I know everyone said it was the weather, but the Broncos punter was punting in the same weather, and that game almost cost them. Now you have Seattle. They just played in San Francisco. The kicking game, the return game, the edge rushers. They know how to get a jump on that turf. They know how to play on that turf. They know how to punt on that turf. They know how to kick field goals on that turf, right? The line suggests it's a 1-score game. Don't you want to be on the team that's number 2 in special teams DVOA versus the team that's number 20th in DVOA special teams? Like if you think this is going to be a close game, again, special teams, it pops its head up here and there, but in a close game, I think it matters. That was part of my handicap in the Rams Seattle game, and the Rams particularly, their special teams were horrible. Pats aren't as bad; they're below average, but I still think Seattle special teams are going to make a play here that's going to have a big impact on the game.
So the one thing you got to note too with, and I picked this up listening to Aaron Schatz on VSiN earlier in the week, but New England is historic, is very good. They're number 1 in the league in punt return. And it's so like, put that into context. What did you say? They're below average in special team, right? Their overall special teams DVOA is 20th. But that includes being number 1 in punt return. They have a great punt returner. We've seen them score touchdowns on that unit. So you think about that, involving that. Now in that same category, Seattle's number 2. So it's not like they're losing any ground there. But overall, Seattle is the second team overall in special teams. So to your point, there's a big advantage when Seattle is returning punts and kicks. And I know a lot of people are leaning into that handicap in terms of like, will the first kickoff be a touchback? But to your point, again, that New England is going to have to completely outcoach this Seattle coaching staff. That's going to be part of the narrative if they win. Because
Seattle? Sorry,
New England. No, New England would have to outcoach the Seattle coaching staff if they plan on winning this game, because they're at a deficit in every matchup, all 3. And the only time that New England scares you a little bit is when their punt return unit is very good. And so Seattle's going to have to miss that. So yeah, if you want to know the concoction of how New England wins, it involves a Sam Darnold turnover. It involves a punt return for a touchdown. And it involves Vrabel out coaching McDonald. That's that. Because otherwise, I think Sam Darnold. Listen, you're crazy. You can point out that their offense finished 10th DVOA in the regular season, but you have to give it context, and that context is they were mediocre running the ball, and they were the 5th passing offense in this league. And again, what teams has he had trouble against? Just the same ones. Everyone else he's dominated for 2 seasons. And we got the, of course, God's eye, ATVs, keeping an eye on everything, and all the hot take shows still just can't stomach to give Sam Darnold any credit. This is a true redemption story, and people are going to find like it both Sam Darnold being a hot guy and Sam Darnold being a Super Bowl MVP.
You hyping up Sam Darnold's hotness was not on my list of topics I thought you would be on.
Well, I'm just getting ahead of the Kay Adams news.
Yeah, he's one of those guys who will get penetration.
What happened to Daniel Jones? She's not horny for him anymore now that he blew out his leg.
She really has a type. Successful.
Well, and the Daniel Jones.
Well, it was
does not
after
check
that
the box.
2022. Yeah, that's his agent secured him the bag, and he was hey, you get to hang out with her once a week for 10 minutes.
All right. Hey, we got a couple. Shout out to Rhythm. That's right. The Rhythm is gonna betcha. Picks, prop sides, total. Rhythm has it all. Great tool. Build yourself a nice college basketball model going into March Madness. They are again. You can build your own model, or you can just tail Rhythm. Both good options in my mind. Rhythm is it's very easy to use. You just fire up the app. You start adjusting the sliders with college basketball. It's really cool. Like as someone who values offensive rebounding, free throw percentage, you can go really deep. You can select the stats you like, the stats you don't like, the ones that matter to you. Or again, you want to just be lazy and just go, hey, Rhythm, what do you like? College basketball totals is one of their wheelhouses. Let's see. What do they like for the big game, Ryan? I know. Let's see here. What's a fun one to break down?
I bet you
this one I think we both like as well as Rhythm. Austin Hooper over 9.5 receiving yards. Very doable. Again, Seattle not great against the tight end. I think defensively one of their few weaknesses is to the tight end. Hunter Henry I think could have a decent game. Austin Hooper only gets 10 receiving yards. He's cashing this. Of course, download Rhythm, and if you want to go premium, 25% off premium with promo code SGPN 25 RITHMM. Promo code SGPN 25. We're also brought to you by Underdog. That's right, Underdog. Get you going for the big game. Big game 60 coming up. Underdog has you covered with they are just unloading the boosts. Choose a player and reveal whether you've unlocked a gimme pick, followed by a boost builder tied to the big game. Underdog celebrating by hooking up players with bigger boosts. Just submit a boosted entry to unlock an even bigger boost on the next one up. So I'm pretty sure how this works. Like you submit your first Underdog pick'em, it's 10%, then 20, then 30, and then it goes up to 60% boost. Right.
That's like a rewards program.
It's a boost ladder is the way I look at it. So let's get it going with our first boost. Oh, sorry. 10% is your first and then 25% on the next one. What do we like in an Underdog pick'em? One guy on the Pats, one guy on the Seahawks.
Well, with the way we've been talking, we both did seem to agree that Drake May was going to have to use his legs.
Yeah.
Do we want to attack that in any way?
I like. I'm fine with Drake May rushing yards. You know, the Laddie Daddy on our VSiN show, Ryan, aka CJ Sullivan, he gave out Drake May rushing attempts higher 2.5, and that's a little spicy. At that one, I kind of like. That's on my list. I like
Sam Darnold. You mean?
Yeah, sorry, Sam Darnold higher 2.5 rushing
it. Yeah, that's interesting.
I like both Helani and Kenneth Walker in the receiving game.
Yeah.
Which one of those do you want to play?
I mean, I would just play Kenneth Walker, not get cute.
Okay.
Kenneth Walker, 21.5 receiving yards higher.
Yeah, I'm in.
Keep it simple. We like the matchup. We think the explosives there.
Yeah.
He's hit this 4 out of 5. So.
What about on the Patriots side?
Like I said, we seem to agree that Drake May would be running the ball a lot. You were, I think you like Hunter Henry. I haven't pulled the trigger on any Hunter Henry stuff, but I think I think I like Ramondre in the passing game, kind of similar to.
Yeah, why don't we focus this entry on the pass catching running backs? So you think Ramondre goes over his receiving or higher?
22.5. What's your take on a lot of people are, getting cute, I feel, with Trevion Henderson stuff. Is he not in the doghouse?
He had 4 snaps.
Do you have to read into that he's not going to be playing the Super Bowl, right?
I'm not going to bet on a guy who in a conference championship game, the coach gave him 4 snaps.
Yeah, completely. All right. So
I mean, I see the case if you want to take like most rushing yards. Hey, he gets in for a couple of plays and breaks it. Sure, fine. I'm not doing it, but I understand the handicap because he has some explosive play potential. But these teams show you who they are for the most part.
4 snaps and
yeah, they told you.
All right, so Ramondre 22.5 receiving yards
higher, and Kenneth Walker higher 21.5 receiving yards. Used my first boost builder.
Me too.
And let's see, if you max it at $50, $100 will return you $160. Underdog Fantasy, promo code SGPN. Okay, Kramer, landing the ship that is Super Bowl 60. Any other?
I have a couple. Here's my closing thoughts. The more, and I had some time. Again, reminder: I was on a helicopter thinking about this, and I was also on an island.
It's only 17 minutes, though.
I was also on an island thinking about this,
Okay.
and I also have the wisdom.
I thought when you brought it, when you were walking up the steps, you were holding this, and I go, you didn't have the autograph side facing up, so it's just this like orange box, and I go, is this some? I thought it was like a wrapped
like
bottle
something
of
was
booze.
inside of it. Yeah.
And I go, well, that's not Kramer style.
Well, imagine when this came. You can ignore my story from earlier, but when this came in the mail, my goodness, did I forget what I had done? So
I mean,
it was a
$27 is a great price.
Again, it's almost like it's an urn, right? Like the wisdom of John Harbaugh will now live beside me. Yeah,
and shout out to Harbaugh saying he was gonna, model the team around the Philadelphia Eagles. Smart man.
Yeah, I mean,
smart approach.
You gotta set a mark somewhere, I guess. Although Eagles, maybe I don't like this. I can't see it. Eagles maybe not. Maybe losing some coaches, but yeah, I don't. My main thoughts is the more that I thought about this, the more it's hard for me. Like, this is not a big enough number. The money line's not big enough. I think when I listen to people talk about the Patriots, it's mostly just mouth breathers acting like chowderheads and saying nobody believes in us.
It's a baby fucking wheel, man.
I think the sharps that are taking the points and the sharps that are picking scores that are 3 points in favor of the Seahawks is one of the grossest things I've ever seen. It's ridiculous. Come on, have a spine. Sean told you the spread's dead in the Super Bowl. What are you doing? You want to make sure you can say one thing or the well, I did have the Seahawks money line. Or yep, dog. There you go. Take the points. Dog's been hot 5 straight. All right. Yeah. So the more that I think about it, the more that I listen to other people's voices, the more it's made me feel stronger that this is going to be another situation when we were so certain the Seahawks were going to destroy the Broncos. And I bet those alt numbers like a motherfucker all the way up.
That was a great Super Bowl because it was just from that safety on. And I remember watching the conference championship game and just the pad noises from that defense. I'm like, shit, this team is fucking some people up. And it was an outdoor Super Bowl. Yeah. And I think that was part of it too, to some degree. Peyton Manning, who lived in a dome, you put him outside.
Doesn't really apply here, but
no. But I think some of the big picture stuff applies.
I think some people would love to see this game be played in a dome, and maybe that helps because I think the one thing, like, Drake May is they're gonna have to hit some big shots, and I strangely do believe that they might be aided on the turf versus the Seahawks.
Yeah, again, it's a Super Bowl. You're looking for every sort of little edge. I think Seattle played at San Francisco. What was it, like a month ago?
Yeah, they play there all the time.
Yeah, I think any sort of little field edges, I think could be a little bit of a difference and a little bit of an edge. Not obviously not the reason why I'm taking. It's not something that swings one way or the other. My keys to the game, obviously special teams. I think there's a big difference there, and I think that matters. I think Will Campbell versus DeMarcus Lawrence, I think, is a massive matchup in this game, and in general. I don't think the Pats have a Puka Nacua or a Devontae Adams or any sort of like dominant big receiver that can force the Seahawks' hand. I think they can dink and dunk a little bit.
Diggs.
I don't think Diggs can do that.
I think Diggs has a huge game if the Patriots win, because I think Diggs is going to have to be the guy that operates the stuff that Puka goes out and creates problems for in the middle of the field there. That's Diggs.
Yeah. And I think it's the Patriots' inability to convert off of turnovers. Like a lot of games in the NFL, I think the team that wins the turnover battle will certainly odds on be the winner. But I think if it's a push or if it's a one turnover difference, I think Seattle gets the win and the cover.
Do we want to have a quick weather conversation?
Sure.
Have you looked at the temperature?
Low 60s last I saw.
I don't think the weather is gonna. I think the idea that it's like a slick day, maybe. Like you get the marine layer rolling in.
Yeah. I think all that's again, Seattle plays in the Pacific Northwest. So any sort of weather I think would benefit them over the Pats, maybe to a minor degree. But I would just go back to the ball control issues that Drake May had. 6 fumbles in his first 2 games. And yeah, he didn't fumble in the 3rd game, but that was cuz he wasn't facing a real edge rush in the second half. And in general, like that game script got ugly, and their offense looked like shit. They got that one touchdown off the fumble from our buddy. Yeah,
if Darnold does that, then we're probably there's a chance we're going to be wrong. If Darnold decides,
but I think even I think there's even a little margin of error on Seattle's side. So. I get it. They're favorites. I think they're favorites for a reason.
Can New England? Yeah, I wonder. I've thought long and hard. Can New England score a touchdown in this game?
Yeah, I think they can. But I think it is a low scoring game. Ryan, let's go. Lock total, score, and prop. Let's do it. For me. What are you laughing at?
Oh, I was just about to answer. I thought you were asking me the question.
Okay.
Like,
no, you go first.
All right. Step. I think the score. So I think there's a couple variations of my score. We started this on the Friday VEASAN show with the squares, but I do love the idea of this being kind of a weird or wacky score. So I'll take Seattle -4.5. Obviously, I will take under 45. Does seem like lower scoring game in the mix. I think it's a rout. Seattle 31, New England 6.
Okay.
Again, that 1-6 square. Stay in on it. And then, I mean, we were talking about it earlier, but I will say the first thing I bet at the Circa when we walked in, well, 2 things. I'll actually tease the first touchdown episode, but the first thing I bet was the first touchdown because Sean pretended like he moved the number on me. And the second thing
great troll.
I bet was Kenneth Walker over 21.5 receiving yards because I was surprised to see Circa was
20.5. You said
21.5.
Yeah.
They were off market on this one. And I know you can still probably find some 21.5s out there. But I think there's a lot of 22.5s and 23.5s now. So Walker's going to get this. This is something you can, put this in the consideration for a ladder. I think in 4 out of 5 games he's gotten this. And I think the way that you're going to need to attack this team, and sure, it's fair to point out that he's maybe going to lose some snaps to Helani, who they like in the pass blocking game better, but that doesn't matter because it's most likely going to be one catch. And I think, again, like I said, the idea that this ladder, like, could he have the most receiving yards in the game? Probably not.
No.
Certainly very interesting. Could he have the first catch in the game?
Yeah.
Certainly very interesting.
He's had it a couple times.
Where he's being priced plus 650, I believe, in the Seattle first catch market. So yeah, and then just in general, I think the more that I've thought about this, the more that it's very difficult for me. Now I will be playing Patriots to score like first touchdowns, and I may even sprinkle in any time or 2.
Yeah. So they miss the extra point. What's your formula?
No, my formula is I think they are going to struggle to score. So when I'm looking at the anytime market in the first touchdown market, what am I doing? Only big game hunting. I'm not going for anything basic. So I don't know if they're going to score. So good luck, Patriots. I'm sure some people will disagree with this take. I noticed this score, this exact score prediction will certainly be off market in the VSiN guide if you pick that up. But yeah, good luck. Not really to the Patriots.
For me, lock it up. Seattle gets it done. Seahawks Super Bowl champs laying the 4.5 under 45 as I have the total score 21-13. Little more competitive game than Kramer, but I think Pat's defense kind of keeps them around. I think Seattle either gets a defensive touchdown or some strip sack fumbles that puts the defense in a decent point of view. I know Kramer, you like the punts over. I think that's kind of interesting here.
How dare you lift up my skirt?
No, I guess we'll save it for the prop show, but I think Seattle's defense is really going to make it difficult on New England. I like Mike McDonald versus a young quarterback there in Drake May. And yeah, I don't know if Seattle's offense is going to run away with it and light it up, because I think Vrabel and this Pats defense is legit. And I think they deserve, their kudos to a certain degree. That being said, and I wouldn't be surprised if New England has the ball here, final drive here, they make a couple mistakes or Seattle gets a big stop. I mean, we saw this Seattle defense come up with the big stop back against the wall against the LA Rams, a much better offense that knows how to play Seattle.
I feel like they have to do less gimmicks to play their defense, which means the chance that they get beat for big plays.
They can get pressure with their 4 defensive linemen more than New England can. And I think that's the difference in the game. And I think you can kind of compare a little bit the Seattle defense to the Eagles defense last year that could get pressure and get to the quarterback, create those game-changing turnovers and plays that we saw the Eagles do against Patrick Mahomes. And their offensive coordinator had taken a job.
Mahomes.
And sorry, someone in the chat pointed that out as well. I think it might have been Dilly Daggers that Kellen Moore had already agreed to a new head coaching job prior to the Super Bowl. So
didn't seem to get in the way.
No, again, if I was making a case for the Pats, I would highlight that. But
it's kind of an interesting comparison offensively. I mean, the obviously difference was the elite running game, but quarterback hitting on some big plays, kind of out
taking some deep shots,
dueling the quote unquote MVP. Although Mahomes wasn't the MVP. But yeah, I think
there's a lot of comparisons. The more I look at this, to Seahawks, Pats to Eagles, Chiefs. Now, it's a little different because the Chiefs were the big bad boogeyman. Eagles had Super Bowl experience. It's not apples to apples, but I think there are some worthy comparisons, both offensively and defensively.
I also just think in general, now that I've read a lot of the feel good stories and a lot of the nonsense, for as much as it would have been the easy, obvious take to be like, the Pats team is, Vrabel's gotten the culture, blah, blah, blah. I buy the fact that the Seahawks like each other more. Like the New England stuff still has vibes of like Patriot way bullshit where like you're not getting the full story because Diggs is like what is this wild card? Everyone's saying the right thing.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Like there's no way the whole locker room truly respects this young quarterback in year 2. Whereas in Seattle, it's like, I don't, everything feels very authentic from their diva receiver being JSN and kind of being this like nerdy guy in a way to Sam Darnold being like a guy that clearly everyone respects, like the defensive dudes, the leaders of the defense, like they got Darnold's back, like that stuff. That's the best stuff about Super Bowl week to me is you get a lot more access to that. And I'm telling you, there's that aspect too. Like sometimes teams just have it, and that collective, like obviously all good teams have it, but sometimes it stands out as being a little bit different. Like I believe that these guys would all go to Sam Darnold's fucking birthday party. Well, I don't know if they're all going to Drake May's birthday party, especially with some of the food videos his wife's posting on the internet. You gotta be careful.
No one on the Seahawks facing strangulation charges. If you're looking for like if there's any sort of karma potential, again, we'll let the courts decide. But my prop that I like, Ryan,
yes,
the Hunter Henry over 3.5 receptions. Seahawks. They allow receptions to the tight end. I know a lot of people like the yards. I'm going receptions here. I think he gets looks early and often because I think the Pats are going to have trouble completing stuff to their receivers. But yeah, 21-13. Let's go Seattle.
31-6. but for square purposes could also be
Seattle,
21.
Seattle gets their revenge on New England. Oh God, it'll be horrible if New England wins this.
Why do you say that? What's the worst thing that happens if New England wins?
It's a baby.
Well, I would lose.
Wheel,
I would
man.
lose money.
Well, but that's not the.
Pats
is that
fans
the
are
worst?
insufferable.
Worse than Eagles fans?
No.
Mm.
No, I mean,
well, you guys like being bad, so it's,
no,
it's
I
a
mean,
trick
Pats
question.
fans are much worse than Eagles fans.
I will say, yeah, I remember when it happened. It was shortly after the Red Sox had come back on the Yankees back in 2004. Maybe it was 2005 at this point. I was in a bar in West Hollywood, Barney's Beanery, and I saw a pink Boston Red Sox hat. And it
they're
said,
back.
"This is the fucking end." That was the beginning of the end. And then it was just 2 decades of mouth breathers all over the place, having the right to say whatever the fuck they wanted. Can't go back into that.
No,
can't go back into that.
Hey, thank you guys for tuning in. Get in on the Super Bowl squares, giving away $1,000. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/squares to one lucky viewer of Sports Gambling Podcast. Appreciate you guys answering all your questions and comments over Spotify. Super Bowl 60 props, 60 bets. Let's fucking go. Kramer, get the point spread song ready.
Oh, you're right.
We got to go out in style. This is our last pick show of the NFL season. Great run. It's been a wild ride. Thank you everyone for tuning in as always. And of course,
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
Almost ready.
for the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, second the money green, and he's Ryan.
Sean, worst of luck to the New England Patriots.
Kramer.
It's a baby fucking wheel, man.
Let it ride.
Is that coming up?
Play it on. I don't know where you have it playing right. There we go.
Oh, no, I'll start it over. I don't think it played right. All right, there we go.
Okay, here we go.
I'm wet. I want better fucking execution.
Oh Lord, please help me cover the spread.
I want a dick rubbed on me tonight.
Showtime, Mahomes.
Oh Lord, please help me cover the spread.
And once again, we apologize for CJ's late.
Money line on my parlay card. The odds are fine. They made a first down. My team is trying to go downtown. Oh Lord, please help me cover the spread. My bookie has chased me around the block. Bill collectors are calling me around the clock. I gambled all night, my eyes are red. The dice are all right, and I got poker in my head. Oh Lord, please help me cover the spread. The time is running down, let's make a first down. I need some luck to make a buck. Oh Lord, we're a point behind, let's come from behind. Let's go.
She rhymed behind with behind.
Give me a touchdown. Oh Lord, please help me cover.
And give me a
the
touchdown.
spread. It's fourth down, the goal line is just ahead. They scored a touchdown and covered the spread. They scored a touchdown and covered the spread. Oh Lord, thank you so much. My rent is paid. Oh Lord, I love you so much. We covered the point spread. We covered the point spread. We covered the point spread. We covered the point spread.